You're listening to DraftKings Network.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
How do you want it? You just want to go to it?
I would hope that everybody here would like the prize at the end of this. I feel like everyone's bought into.
It's tight right now. We all have really good records. I'm bought in.
That we
We're on
have
a
here.
heater right now.
It's actually the most fun I've ever had creating.
Yep.
As a professional, as a creative of repute in this industry, there is nothing I'm more proud of than.
I've been inspired watching Mike create this.
It's time for
Against the Spread!
It's brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code Dan when you sign up on the app for a limited time offer for new customers. Guys, we're approaching the end of the year.
You know what that means?
And I'm looking at the live standings right now. Everybody is doing terrific in this contest. It's going to be neck and neck the entire way through.
Who's winning?
Today, a lot of people are tied.
Yeah, too close to call.
Too close to call right now.
You should be able to call. It's a record, but too close to call.
Is anyone recording this anywhere? Are you? I would love
Yes.
to see a piece of paper.
Yes,
a screen,
because of the prize.
Something.
Because of the
Here is
prize.
one piece of paper.
There is.
That
She is holding.
reads-
I can confirm she's holding up a piece of paper.
Okay,
Billy
so-
has it right there, Iron Fist.
So it's
That was the
everyone.
screen.
Everyone's picking a game.
Against the
All
spread.
right, well, hurry it up.
You
Hurry
wanna
it up.
start?
I'd like. No,
There's a lot
I-
of pressure with going first.
I didn't
Who do you
wanna
like on the
do any
board?
of this.
Who do you like on the board?
A lot of pressure, but also wide open, Dan, because you can take any game.
You're doing pretty well.
I'll take
You're doing
the
pretty well.
over on Warriors Kings.
That's not a spread.
That's not how we play this game.
It's not against the total. It's against the spread. You're just being an asshole.
I don't understand.
You're just being an asshole right now
understand.
because there's a running theme here where you pretend to be confused. We do this every week.
I'll take the Diamondbacks on the run line.
I'm starting to think that Dan knows that it's with Greg Cody. Against the spread.
You don't take someone on the run line. You take them.
Against the spread.
You know, for that behavior, I'm docking him a game.
I'll take
not
Malik
gonna get the-
Monk over on point.
You can't do that.
This
You
late-
already
Dock
took
him 2 points.
This late in the season,
How many
you're going to
times
dock
do we
him a
have to
game?
tell you, old man?
Whoa.
It's from SpongeBob.
Well, but also,
You could
that's how
literally
bad
say
you made her.
anything and say it's from SpongeBob and get away with it,
Yeah.
probably.
I
In this
mean,
room, yes.
You're
My
up.
leg?
I mean, you're up.
You're up.
Oh,
I mean,
I'm up. Why
Yeah.
am I starting this?
Because he started.
But he didn't start. He didn't
Yeah,
pick
he
anything.
did. He did his
All
whole
right.
thing where he pretends to not care about the prize at the end of this.
Brooklyn Nets 6-point dogs here in Miami. I'm going to the game. I'm taking the Nets against the spread.
So many ghosts.
to give you a little basketball
season.
analysis from last night, the Cavs can't beat the Knicks, correct?
That's the weirdest thing. Now, to be fair, they didn't have their full complement of guys. But yes, also, it's so weird that that's their boogeyman, right?
The Cavs are better than the Knicks, but cannot beat the Knicks.
It is the wildest thing.
Now, you're not extra incentivized to take big risks in against a spread. A win is a win, and sometimes you'll lay some juice to get a win. I want this prize desperately. So I'm going to the Bundesliga, where there is a massive favorite in Bayer Leverkusen against
Massive
Sandhausen.
favorite.
However, I'm not taking money line. I'm going to take a risk here, and I'm going to take them -1.5, which still is a pretty hefty price, but it allows me to talk about one of my passions in betting this year, which is Bayer Leverkusen, led by Xabi Alonso. They are so fun to watch. The rest of Europe is really lucky they're not in Champions League. I'm taking Bayer Leverkusen against the spread.
Speed this up.
That's all from SpongeBob, Dan.
Can we speed it up, Billy? Choose one.
I'm going to take the Giants +2 over the Raiders. Now, a lot of people are seeing the Raiders situation and saying that's a team in disarray. And that's what I'm hoping is the case. Because if you watched the Giants game last week, you said, you know what? This is another team in disarray.
Who's playing quarterback for the
Let
Giants?
him finish his analysis.
Tommy DeVito.
He's so good.
Mamma mia.
I'm sorry for
Throw
the
me the
interruption,
video.
Billy.
It's incredible. You know what? I don't care.
No, you're always so good.
Plus
in this
2 of the
segment.
Giants. Against the spread.
Against the spread.
It's a spread.
But
All
who
right.
is playing quarterback?
Peter
for
Pan
the
is
Throw
next.
me the video. I'm taking the Eagles -3 at home against the Cowboys. They never win those games, so I'm going to take the Eagles.
Against the spread.
Duh. Jessica?
Smetty Bowl this weekend, Clemson, Notre Dame. I'm taking Clemson +3 because the vibes around Clemson are bad, and Notre Dame's offense still has some issues to work out.
Tyler.
So you're
Okay,
betting
so spread.
on bad vibes? You're betting on bad vibes.
I'm betting on Clemson's bad in terms of their record. They're 4-4. Statistically, they're not that bad of a team, and they've got a good defense. They just have a really bad offense, and maybe one of their best players is out this weekend.
Can you emotionally
So the
hedge when you
vibe's
like
good?
both teams?
So what team are
I
you
don't.
taking?
I know. I want Notre Dame to win. I don't.
Yeah.
But
I know
don't
that's your
want
number
Clemson
one.
to win.
You think Clemson's going to win, though?
I-
Or not
Against
lose by
Against the spread.
Against
I-
Bad
the
vibes,
spread.
though. Where do the bad vibes
Well,
come
then now they have to fight for their
Clemson
coach.
has all-time bad vibes.
No, I would say the opposite. They have great vibes coming in now. People want to play for Dabo.
That's true. I don't trust Dabo in an underdog position.
But you just took
But you
Clemson.
took them.
Wait, I meant the opposite of that.
Okay, that
I can tell you his
I
wife.
don't trust him in an underdog position to lose.
I can tell you his wife trusts him in a couple positions.
Whoa.
Three kids, Tyler.
I wanted to be an underdog, and then I did it.
Jessica?
Here's my point. Here, I'll give you some actual football analysis. I picked Clemson
Clemson.
+3 against the spread. We already did that.
That's,
Notre Dame's offense has had a lot of struggles. I know they put up 60 points last week against Pitt, but Sam Hartman threw 2 interceptions. He threw 3 against Louisville. They have been really struggling. Their defensive unit is one of the best in the country. Clemson's got a good defense, but a struggling offense as well. I think it might be close. The line opened at -1, I think, Notre Dame. It's gone up a little bit, but I think it might be a close game. So I'm
Clemson-
emotionally hedging.
At what minute?
Clemson receiving a point for every one of Dabo's kids, plus a hook.
Again.
So spread, Lucy.
Wait,
And it's an emotional
before
hedge.
Lucy, Jessica, go sit in the penalty box.
What?
Why her analysis was great.
Yeah, spot on.
No, you sit in the penalty
no,
box.
wait.
Sorry, you don't know ball.
The
Whoa,
You
that's
took
from
Malik
SpongeBob.
Monk.
That is from SpongeBob. That's
You
from
took
SpongeBob.
Malik Monk, a player prop, and against the spread.
I'm not penalizing her for the analysis. I'm penalizing her because it was unclear throughout who she was taking.
I literally said Clemson
You're not
+3
paying
against
No,
the spread.
I heard that, but then you said they have bad vibes
Then
around
Tony
them.
disagreed, so it
vibes.
led to a discourse. I thought
don't
we
know.
want to be like thought-provoking.
Why is she still
You
here?
guys don't let me talk that much, so I thought I had to get it out really
Nobody-
fast, and then I ended up confusing everyone. It's your fault, not mine. I didn't do anything wrong.
I'm just glad this segment's going
That's
fast.
from SpongeBob.
Don't victim blame. Lucy.
Dan's rattled because he was docked that game. It's
Yeah.
very
Two
apparent.
games,
two
actually.
games.
2 games.
2?
Insubordination.
And I'm thinking about a third for conduct detrimental to the bit.
Wow.
Lucy, what are you selecting?
I'm very overwhelmed right now by this entire situation, but I am taking Alabama -3 against LSU. Revenge game at home. Jalen Milroe's playing a lot better. I think this line is kind of questionable to me. Alabama must -3. Again.
The
Thank
spread.
God you did the thing. All right.
I remembered it. Barely.
Are you going to be able to get onto the sidelines of that game? Are we going to be able to execute the getting? I heard John Skipper talking yesterday about the phone call he was going to have to make in order to see if he could get you on the sidelines of that football game.
We have no news, so today we booked a temporary flight to Oklahoma for Bedlam.
Temporary.
Yes, because we could, if Alabama calls us back and they're like, hey, come on down. See ya, Oklahoma. We're not going there.
I know
But
John.
the plan is Oklahoma State, which should be awesome. It's the last Bedlam in a very long time. It might even be better than Bama LSU.
I know John Skipper has plenty of great relationships, but have you considered getting a credential through Michigan?
We could do that. I own a lot of hats now. I could easily fit in anywhere.
A real Sophie's choice. Should I go to Alabama or should I go to Oklahoma? Ooh, 2 wonderful locales.
Our third option was Iowa Northwestern.
Jesus Christ.
Stugotz is going to that one for me.
Billy, how do you feel about the Dolphins on Hard Knocks for the second half of the season? Mike McDaniel is talking about, he is giving voice now to what he's calling the narrative that is a narrative, which is the Dolphins have played 2 good teams and lost to both of them. And his thing is like, okay, that's fine. That's what people will say until we beat a team with a good record. Now they're playing at 9:30 in the morning in Germany against a
Well,
team.
not in Germany. Well, they are playing in Germany, but it won't be 9:30 in the morning.
No,
in
it won't be
Germany.
there.
Didn't seem
Just
like an
here.
important correction there.
There was
It's hard to get up for that
confusion,
game.
Exactly.
Like physically hard to get up for
us,
that
yeah.
game.
For them, too, it's bad enough for us.
What time is it on their body? It's 9:30 on their body, so it is hard for them.
It is a fun game. The Chiefs are coming off of a 9-point game against Denver where they lost, and this would be the best win on the Dolphins' resume, although I don't think when you win 70-20, any of the other wins
But transitive property would suggest they're a good 60 points better than the Chiefs.
Yeah. So what do you feel about the fact that they are an interesting team? They're a team that people like to watch and has some personality, but I would also say they're a team that's being questioned. They're a team that many people, this is funny to see, many people are dismissing as a finesse team because they might not be as tough as Philadelphia, even though nobody's as tough as Philadelphia.
I'm conflicted that they're going to be on the in-season Hard Knocks situation. Like, you want to see your favorite team on there because you want, but also, like, I'm getting a little tired of Mike McDaniel and the whole cute situation. You know what I mean? Like, I'm wondering if it's running its course. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not super huge on this whole Mike McDaniel guy.
Billy,
I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah.
You know what the last straw was for me? The kid, the Halloween costume. I said
that
enough.
kid really ruined him.
I said
for
enough.
Me. Yeah.
Enough with this Mike McDaniel
He has nothing
guy.
to do with that.
No. Enough.
He has everything to do with it.
Yep. Crafting a persona that makes kids want to dress up
He doesn't
like
have
him
to
on
sprint
Halloween.
either.
It's just the sneakers and the whole
I like the sneakers,
thing.
though. I like the
mean,
sneakers.
shirts with his face on it. Like, get over it.
So he shouldn't wear
Bobbing his head.
sunglasses?
Bopping his head.
I
Music
can't.
blaring. You think he is?
I'm laughing because I was legitimately shocked by what Billy was saying.
What was I saying?
I was
Just
surprised
analysis.
to see him rip as the Duke, as a top 5 international broadcaster and analyst that can be found on God Bless Football.
Unbiased.
For him to come out against the Dolphin coach, who seems wildly popular in town. I don't hear a whole lot of people saying bad stuff about Mike McDaniel, although
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith told him that he's tired of hearing his mouth. But Billy also whispered in my ear, helpfully, even though I'm staring straight at his chest, he whispered it to me. I'm wearing a Mike McDaniel shirt.
Yeah.
So this is your fault.
Yeah, you are the problem then, Billy.
Yeah.
You whipped
I told you I'm conflicted, guys. So what do you want me to do?
Dolphin from
You
head to toe.
whipped off your
I think I have to
jacket.
dock Billy a game.
What? No!
Hey everybody, happy football season. It's Mike, and let me tell you what I do from kickoff to the final whistle. I have a Miller Lite in my hand. I just don't go wrong with it. I learned from experience there is only one light beer worthy of our national obsession, because what's the point of having a beer if it doesn't taste like beer? You don't want to spend any time while you're watching football thinking about what you're drinking. And with the dependable flavor of Miller Lite, you don't have to worry about it because it's only got 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12-ounce serving. With a smooth taste and a crisp, clean finish, you'll get all the taste that you crave without the calories. A light, less filling beer that tastes great in football, there's just no topping that, folks. At least not for me. This season, do what I do. Crack open a light beer that hits your taste buds so hard, you feel it in your heart. Make it Miller time all football season long. Get Miller Lite delivered right to your door. Visit MillerLite.com/Dan, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Don Le Batard.
Do you realize that for 30 minutes, now we might not have been doing good show, but we were doing show for about 30 minutes, and then you just decided to tell the story as if we were in the eating area.
Stugotz.
So many refer to it as a kitchen.
Right.
Eating area.
Commissary.
Who calls it an eating area?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Right.
Eating area. What's the bedroom? The sleeping area? Let's hang on. I got to go to the urinating area. I'll be right back. Eating area.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
No Stugotz?
No.
There's no Stugotz?
Stugotz is out golfing.
Oh. Maybe it's because that's what I want to do, and I steal every piece of shit from him. It's been a long time since he's accused me of that stupid shit.
Well, let's start right there with
Hey,
the best
oh gosh, I didn't know you could hear me,
ever.
Dan.
He is
How are
Rich
you?
Eisen, one of the pioneers in changing careers from ESPN and making a magnificent success of himself by simply stealing all of Stugotz's ideas.
Yes, that's it. That's why I am where I am today, Dan. But you knew that.
You are the best dad ever.
That's me right here. That's what I got about 10 years ago on Father's Day, or 8 years ago or so on Father's Day, and I feel like I'm undefeated in this regard.
A lot of challengers over the years, but he maintains his crown. You are also, you guys are doing something here. This is a giant weekend for NFL Network. 20th anniversary, which is kind of stunning by itself. You've got the great game from Germany, Kansas City, and the Dolphins. And also, please explain this part to me. You guys are borrowing Arlovsky from ESPN to call the game with you. Schefter was on NFL Game Day with you last weekend. NBC is broadcasting the game here in Miami. What's happening with this? This is an NFL Network exclusive, except it's not.
Well, it is an exclusive on NFL Network. You're seeing it NBC in Miami because all games that NFL Network airs is shown over the air locally in the two markets that are playing in it. So that's just I don't know how NBC got it. They must have made a deal or something. But Kurt Warner, who is with me in the booth in London for 2 games and will be in the booth again with me in December for a couple of domestic games that we're calling on NFL Network later in the month. He couldn't make it to Germany. So obviously with this matchup being very quarterback heavy and centric with Mahomes and Tua, and these two offenses being what they are, we wanted to get somebody with quarterback knowledge. And that's the beauty of, NFL and the NFL Network is we're partners with everybody as much as we are in certain ways competitors. So ESPN appreciate them saying, sure, let's get Orlovsky in your booth for Sunday. And it's going to be me, Dan, and Jason McCourty of Good Morning Football as well. So all 3 of us together. I'm taking off for Frankfurt after doing my show today, and I'm fired up about it.
Can you tell us what you imagined Wildest Dreams NFL Network would be when you got there? Like, what were you imagining all of this would become, and has it exceeded all you imagined it would become?
It is exactly what I hoped it to become, to be straight up with you, Dan. But, having left ESPN at that time, my head was just completely spinning. I left ESPN late May, and long negotiations fell short. And I got married on June 7th of that year, and on my honeymoon signed my contract with NFL Network, looking at the Venice Canal from my hotel room window, and I faxed it from the front desk of one of the hotels I was on my honeymoon. And so my head was completely spinning. We didn't come on the air again since the 20th anniversary this Saturday until week 10 of that 2003 season. And so I had no idea what it was going to be. I just wanted to make sure it was the best that I could make it whenever I was on camera, which in the very beginning was pretty much like the Truman Show, 24/7, 365. I was the only guy there. So now 20 years later, it's exactly what I had hoped, where I'm now in a booth calling football games for an international series package after the creation of Thursday Night Football that I was doing the pregame and halftime and postgame for has been spun off to many different networks, now completely to a streaming service, which is nuts. Now Sunday mornings, we're now entrenched covering the draft, and then a whole bunch of things that we originated, from combine coverage to training camp coverage to pro day coverage to schedule release shows and things of that nature. Are now, I guess, part of the landscape, and that's what we wanted at the time.
Tell us of the challenges the first couple of months.
Oh, gosh. Distribution. No question about it. We were on DirecTV and nothing else. So that was about 12 million homes, and I was in about 112 million homes on SportsCenter. And I remember my wife, who worked with Turner, TNT, NBA on TNT, and She was doing sidelines for them, and she was doing a lot of reporting and hosting and anchoring for NBA TV. The NBA All-Star Game was here in the spring of 2004, just after we launched of NFL Network here in Los Angeles. And I was her +1 for a handful of NBA events. And so I went to some NBA All-Star party here in the old Staples, as they would say. And some guy came up to me and said, I watch you every day. And I'm like, great. I immediately crowdsourced him to see, how do you take in NFL Network? And his response is, what do you mean NFL Network? He had never heard of it. He thought I was still on SportsCenter, which I had not been on since the previous May. I informed this gentleman of that development. He then looked at me. He said, are you all right? I'm like, I could fog up a mirror for you if you'd like, but that was the general sense of things, was distribution. And, sometimes I would do SportsCenters with Stu and everyone else at 2 a.m. and have a walk into the Bristol parking lot, average time of 3:30 in the morning. And I would do SportsCenter wondering who the hell just saw what I just did. And that was multiplied by 100. Every single time I left the set of NFL Network. So that was a major issue. And the distribution wars lasted deep into our first decade. We weren't fully distributed in all cable universes until maybe 8 years in. So that was a long slog, including the 2007 moment, which prior to this weekend's game with the Dolphins and Chiefs, in my mind, is the biggest game we've ever had, which was Brady and the Patriots going for a perfect undefeated regular season in Giants Stadium. We had that game, and there were so many distribution issues that members of Congress and the U.S. Senate were writing letters to the league to basically threaten them to broadcast the game in many different ways. And that wound up being like an exclusive broadcast for us that we were excited about. And it turned into the State of the Union. It was on in 4 different ways. So that was going on early on. So that would be my easy answer, was distribution and viewership.
Rich, how long did it take for people to stop affiliating you or associating you with ESPN? Because I'm going through this now where people say, I watch you guys all the time. I said, oh, yeah? He's like, yeah, I love you. Yeah, you, Perk, Richard Jefferson. I'm like, I haven't been on that show in like 3 years.
Yeah. You know what? It hasn't stopped. I called 2 games in London last month. Walking through the airport here in LAX, somebody hummed the SportsCenter theme at me, which is great. I don't at all discount that part of my life. I met my wife there. My 3 children are technically babies because of it. It was an amazing 7 years of my life. My relationship with that network is something I do not discount or in any way, shape, or form take for granted. It was an amazing time for me. And, I still cherish so many of the relationships with people that I made there. But it hasn't stopped, and I think it's pretty cool. It's just wild to me when, I'm at school events and, parents of kids who are in my kids' classes are coming up to me saying they watched me and Stuart or Linda Cohn or Kenny Mayne or Dan, Patrick, or keep going on when they were getting ready for school. And here I am at a school event for our mutual children. So it's pretty wild, and I kind of dig it. I love it.
I make you pick one and only one. Best SportsCenter anchor of all time is blank.
Best SportsCenter anchor of all time. Come on, man. You can't just choose one. I mean, there's different flavors.
You can do it. You can do it, according to you. But to you, yes, of course, different flavors, but just craftsmanship, sense of humor, range, the things that you like and admire, you pick one.
I will go. I'm not going to just pick one. I'll go Dan and Keith. I mean, they are the best at it, and in many different ways. That's why they were perfect together. Dan with his dry sense of humor, and Keith with his sense of sarcasm. I'll never forget when I first started at ESPN, Dan. I did a SportsCenter with KO, and he was for one of only a few times not at the ideas meeting that we would have to lead off the day, and so he would always lead those meetings. He was the de facto executive editor of the broadcast that he was hosting. And so we were going to do a home-cooked piece, as they say, which is producers inside the Bristol building would create a script or create a piece about fill in the blank. And the fill in the blank was something to do with Game 7 goalies in Stanley Cup history. and some of the best performances by the goalies in Stanley Cup Game 7 history. And everyone was going around the room and trying to figure out who would be mentioned in this piece. And Keith wasn't there. So everybody just tabled it and said, we'll ask Keith when he comes in. And I remember where I was in the old, it was an old version of what's the buildings are right now in Bristol. And I'm sitting at one of these tables, and Keith walks in with books underneath his arm. I mean, all the way out to here. I had no idea what it was. A bunch of encyclopedias or whatever. And he had a pipe in his mouth, and somebody says, hey, Keith, we're doing this piece about these goalies. And he goes, well, 1930-something or other, New York Rangers, before there were masks, goalie takes a puck off the face, assistant coach comes off the bench, finishes a shutout in Game 5, shutout in Game 6, shutout in Game 7. I'll write the piece. I've got a photograph of him at my desk, and we'll put him over my shoulder for the lead-in. And he kept walking, and I thought to myself, holy smokes, I have a long way to go to even get in the realm of that. That was wild. And then, of course, he nailed it, and it was great. And then Dan Patrick, in his own way, a certain set of brilliance that he still has today, from knowledge and humor and delivery and understatedness, and so I got to split the atom here.
That's fine. That's fine. But we're out of time, so we have 20 seconds left. Legitimately, okay. 20 seconds. Who's better, Dolphins or Chiefs?
Come on. I'm calling the game. I got to be straight down the middle here.
No,
move. No, it's not. It's not. I'm calling. I'm meeting.
Colin Cowherd
from Dan. No, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to.
Literally in 24 hours, I'm meeting with the Dolphins, and 36 hours the Chiefs. But I'm genuinely excited. I've been lighting candles for everyone's health for the last month. The last thing I wanted straight up was Mike White versus Mahomes, and Tua led with his friggin' head at one point against the Patriots last week, and I screamed at the television set. But it seems everyone, is mostly healthy, and I am very excited about it later on this weekend.
Didn't work. Mahomes got the flu.
No.
What?
Light more candles next time.
No, he got the flu last week. He's through it. How dare you? How dare you? Whose disembodied voice is trying to rain on my parade? What the hell is that?
Stugotz.
He hosts the Rich Eisen. He hosts the Rich Eisen show weekdays from 12 to 3 on Sirius XM and with us on the Roku channel. Thank you, sir.
Adios. Take care, gents.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is brought to you by KFC's new hot and spicy wings. Get fired up this fantasy season with 8 pieces of spicy marinated hand-breaded wings for just $4.99. Are you kidding me? They're a can't-miss call for whatever the fantasy gods throw your way. In the midst of a managerial hot streak, keep it rolling with KFC's new hot and spicy wings. Did you just assemble the worst lineup in fantasy history? Who cares? You can get 8 KFC new hot and spicy wings for $4.99 right now. Marinated in spice, hand-breaded to perfection. KFC's new hot and spicy wings are here. 8 pieces for just $4.99. It's finger-licking good.
Dan Le Batard.
You are very comfortable talking about how you met your wife, how much you love her, how important she is to you, and that's the reason that I asked the question. I've always admired that about you, that you have no problems whatsoever professing your love.
Well, the thing is, I got a new wife now. Me and Bianca didn't make it, so I moved on. We moved on. It was for the better for both of us.
Stugotz.
Things just got a little awkward there. So let me be the first on this show to congratulate you on the new wife, Vince. Congratulations on feeling whole, feeling complete. Let's talk tailgating. Yeah.
Don't feel awkward, buddy.
Dan, no, I don't.
It's too late for that. It's much too late for that, Vince. I appreciate you soothing me in this regard, but I already feel terribly awkward. And then my teammate comes to my defense with not a question, but
congratulations.
Just a healthy congratulations and the further pointing out of that awkwardness because he's always good for me in those spots. I'm also thinking of divorce, Vince, after many, many years, 18 years, with a partner who does things like that. To you.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Rich Eisen really doesn't like that Stugotz once accused Rich Eisen of stealing his takes.
Yeah.
He's holding on to that one. I mean, he can let go of that one.
Did that make the cut?
I mean, Stugotz can let go of it because you made it seem like Stugotz did that once.
Yeah.
No, this is a recurring thing with Stugotz. He doesn't let that one go.
Rich Eisen doesn't think it's funny.
Well, I mean, but it could be a layered thing, right? So Rich Eisen could have not stolen Stugotz's thing, right? So then there's...
Oh, in all likelihood, he didn't.
No, but then there's the two-part thing that Rich Eisen has to kind of accept is, one, he did not steal Stugotz's thing. Two, him and Stugotz coming up with multiple takes that are the same makes them not that dissimilar.
Yeah.
So he has that internal struggle to deal with. So, like, he could either accept that he's a thief or he could accept that he thinks exactly the same way Stugotz does. And it's not good options.
Now, that's a Sophie's choice.
It's how Stugotz always wins. I am seeing in our cameras here, I am seeing on our televisions that Tony looks like Halloween leftovers. He is out on the street. I don't know exactly where he is, and a lot of people are staring at him. Billy, you're laughing.
He looks great. Like, this is the best he's looked in a long time.
Well, he does look great.
What is that supposed to mean?
He does look great. However, the stubble makes him look like a Peter Pan who just is less clean than Peter Pan should be.
Fallen on hard times.
Yes, thank you. Yes, a Peter Pan who has fallen on hard times, or as Jessica likes to call him, Robin Hood.
Well, they're both little green guys, right?
Kind of gives off the vibes from the Giant and Disney's Jack and the Beanstalk cartoon.
You guys are...
No, that's a compliment. Tony looks like physically like he's in great shape. Like, I told him he looks like a bad character wrestler today. But that was a compliment.
Congrats on the mask, bro.
He has bulked
you,
up.
man.
He is bulked up, but he does look a bit like thrift store Peter Pan. Regardless,
I expect him to have a cigarette. Like,
that's you know what,
buzz off.
a
This is my
cigarette.
smoke
The guy
break.
taking a picture of me over here.
You need to do this. You need
He's going to be on Only in Date.
Tony, see if anybody does. John Reed smoke? Find somebody to bring you a cigarette. Tony's top 5 is Peter Pan while smoking a cigarette.
Do you guys have a cigarette? Do you guys have a cigarette? No.
Yeah.
Forgive me if you've already said it, but where are you presently?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Mike. This is the one statue of our people that came over on Pedro Pan. They gave us this statue, which is, if you can see here next to me, a guy in little shorts with a crutch and then some sort of like lunch pail or lunchbox strapped to his neck, which I think is like the adaptation of like communism for Pedro Pan people. So I don't really know. We could have done a better statue. Maybe a Peter Pan would have worked for this, but I'm here with our people. Which
10
not
seconds.
really many people here.
10 seconds or
Couple
less.
people
Why
here,
is
but-
Peter Pan such a big deal to your people?
Because they sent a bunch of kids over from a communistic state over to America to try and help them find stability and education in the United States. And they sent them all over the country. That's why there's a Cuban in every state.
That was the name
Little
of the
trivia for you.
operation.
What is
the confusion?
Oh, I was say, what does Peter Pan have to do with any
The
of that?
name of the operation was Operation Pedro Pan.
Name of
which
the
is Peter
operation,
Pan
yeah.
in Spanish.
And of course, now it's
My bad. I'm trying to find a cigarette.
And the
that's
grass is overgrown there. He was telling us before.
It's Memorial.
Somebody's got to cut this.
Ask my man who's lying down in the background over there. He might have a cigarette. All the way in the back.
I think he's sleeping.
Oh, okay.
I think he's sleeping.
He's
Yeah.
sleeping.
God, I hope so.
Is he alive? I don't understand why our people memorialize the entire Pedro Pan experience with a statue of Aaron Rodgers, but we will get to Tony's top 5 right now. Any outside looking in, or are we just doing the top 5
We've got
football
one.
observations? Are you sure that man
We've got one OLI.
laying behind you is okay?
He hasn't moved.
He has not moved in the
Oh,
entire...
I saw a move. I saw a move. We're good.
All right, OLI, let's give him his music, please. Aggressive.
That's right, baby. They honk. They know what the deal is. Como estamos? All right. OLI. If for just a brief moment we felt the sun upon our face, look at it right here. The sun upon our face. The Green Lizard was at the helm for a half in Atlanta. It was short-lived because I think they're going to start Desmond Ridder, but for a brief time, we had a moment where the Green Lizard looked like the best option. Como estamos? Another honker. They love it. Number 5. A sad day for us Kirk Cousin truthers everywhere. Billy would know this because he is a first ballot Hall of Famer in Billy's eyes, but a sad day for all of us. And I want to ask the class, what does this leave the Vikings, everybody?
What do you mean? What does it leave the Vikings?
Josh Dobbs.
His injury, what does it leave the Vikings?
Josh Dobbs.
It leaves them No, it leaves them in Bacau. That's what it leaves them. Thank you for asking.
Okay.
Leaves them in Bacau.
This just as Mina Kimes had come around, she had concluded the entirety of the Kirk Cousins experience with the punctuation of, I'm now at a point where I believe him to be underrated. Kirk Cousins to be underrated. As soon as that happens, he gets injured and all their hopes are doomed.
What a journey.
It really has.
I believe they'd be in the playoffs if they started today.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Hottest team in football.
Where are we? What number are we on?
Number 4.
Number 4.
They've won 3 straight, I think. Number 4.
Red hot. My bad.
Jahmyr Gibbs. Welcome to the 2023 All Juice team. Did you see him, Dan? He looked incredible. Shot out of a cannon. I love Jahmyr Gibbs.
Who else is on
Special
the All
player.
Juice team?
Ooh,
Tony,
for
by
the
the looks of
rookies, Zay Flowers. Me, I just signed up for the Juice myself. Right now, it's a list of 2 who have really impressed me. Zay Flowers, Jahmyr Gibbs. Those are the only 2 right now on the All Juice team. You got to earn it to be on the All Juice team. This isn't a handout. This isn't a free for all. Okay.
Just yeah.
Number.
That,
you got to get in the gym.
That child behind you, the statue, has a house on his back. I can't find out why. It's unclear.
He's carrying the entire country of Cuba. That's why, Billy.
That camera
Number
can't
3.
move
We
up
called
to
it a
reveal
lunchbox
what's
before.
on his shoulder.
No, if it moves up, then we miss our man in the back, and I want to make sure he's all right.
Hey, what if I go down? Can you point at it? No? Okay.
That doesn't
That's
really,
not how
that doesn't move the camera.
What does that do? That's not how a camera works. If anything, move up so they'd have to follow you.
Float, levitate if you could.
Do you have a cigarette I can borrow? Get it? No, she doesn't want to turn around.
Fondillo or the other thing?
Naga fondillo.
Señora, naga fondillo. Anyways, number 3. Welcome to the NFL, Will Levis, who, if you squint, kind of look like Dan Marino, Dano.
No.
He's got a squint there. A little Dan Marino, a little 13. I don't know.
Who are you going to call?
Number 2.
Oh, Reno. Number 2. Guys, the Bengals and the Ravens are getting hot at the right time, but the AFC North has turned into Highlander. Say it with me. There can only be one.
No, that's not how it goes exactly.
What?
I also don't
How
think
does it
this
go?
is the right time to be healthy. I think 8 weeks from now is the right time to be healthy.
Whoa. I didn't say healthy. I said hot. It's the right time to get hot, fighting in your own division, who, by the way, great division all around. All teams are 4-3 except the Ravens, who are 6-2. Very exciting division. Number 1.
Camera
Still
person.
haven't found a cigarette
camera
yet.
person. Hold on a second. Before you go to number 1, camera person, just keep panning up until you're in the sky. Just keep going up until go right past the Pedro Pan statue and just keep panning up. All right, Tony, give us your number 1 football observation.
The fabulous Elser Hotel.
I'm going to try to get some fairy dust and try to float up to... Okay, no, I can't. All right, number 1, don't look now. But I'm going to ask you a question. Don't get mad at me. Could the Jags be in the driver's seat in the AFC? I'm just asking the question.
You wrote them off.
The
You
Jags could
bailed
be in
on
the
them
driver's
like 3
seat.
weeks ago.
No, you
Nope.
can't.
Impossible.
You bailed on
Impossible.
them.
That was not me.
You did.
That was not me.
They are the
Mike,
hottest
you've
team
been
in the
warning
league.
people about AI. You've been warning people about AI. I'm warning you right now. That was AI. That was not me. Just letting you know.
The question,
you gotta be careful.
The question you're asking us is, are the Jacksonville Jags in the driver's seat in the AFC?
I asked, could they be in the driver's seat in the AFC?
You
could.
wrote them off.
6-2 right now, hottest team in football.
You wrote them off
Hottest team in
inside
football.
the AFC South.
No, I don't know about that.
Okay, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
Is the conclusion. Thank you, Tony. We appreciate. See if no cigarette, huh? I'd love to come back.
No cigarette yet. Yeah.
At the end of this
Oh, the
segment,
camera panned up.
I would love to have you just sitting there with a cigarette because you have successfully completed your penalty for the day. Jessica, why are you yawning instead of supporting your
I
teammate?
wasn't yawning. I was actually reading about this statue. It's called the Tower of Snow.
I thought I saw pierogies.
No way. Hold on.
She had pierogies on her screen.
Guys,
That's not.
the Tower
She
of
had,
Snow.
It's always food.
God damn it,
There was
Miami.
a pierogi
guys,
recipe.
we've got a big...
It is-
Hold on,
it
we've
is
got a
funny
big
Miami
announcement right now.
snow.
I just got a massive text right now. A source has just told me Taylor Heineke is starting for your Atlanta Falcons this weekend against the Minnesota Vikings. The Green Lizard is back under center.
Are you giving up your source, or are you just did Adam Schefter report it?
I texted Adam. He told me right now the Green Lizard is in. Actually, it was Joe Patrick. My bad. Whoever that is.
Okay, so you just gave a proper source. You just stole something from Joe Patrick and dismissed him with whoever that is. But Heineke is back in the game now. That's what you're telling us. Heineke is officially back in the game.
The sun's shining down upon us again, Dano. And nobody with a cigarette still.
Thank you, Pedro Pan. We appreciate your time.
The scoopage that you're attributing is just Arthur Smith at his press conference. Arthur Smith is a source.
It's a good source. An excellent source. Terrible mustache.
Straight from the horse's mouth, Dano.
That is right, but for some reason you credited Joe Patrick. Whoever that is.
Came across the wire. I don't have to tell you.